Welcome to Geeks Corner. I'm Mr. Daps.
I'm Katie.
In an often repeated scientific study, scientists have found that ants, regardless of breed, always fall on their right side when intoxicated.
Tink.
Huh. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everybody.
New Year. Welcome to our show.
And I'm Cameron.
I'm
That's
glad you're Cameron. Cameron is celebrating a birthday.
Yes.
Happy birthday.
Yes.
And if you would like to wish him happy birthday, you can.
Use the hashtag Geeks Corner to talk to Cameron. That's me. I won't be able to see what's happening, but other people will let me know.
Use the
and I'll appreciate it.
Geeks Corner.
Hashtag.
Look, we have a
We have
hashtag.
a hashtag Geeks Corner.
You want to talk about the rest?
So,
We're really into Pink Floyd.
we sneezed and a bunch of paint was around, so this happened.
And the paint was in our noses for some reason.
For some reason, the paint was in my noses all along. No.
Is that like the magic being inside of you all along?
Yeah.
Okay,
The
cool.
paint was living in my sinuses. It was crazy.
Okay.
But
The color of your sinuses is that.
yeah, both. It was the green actually. But we had a crazy idea to
New Year, New Geeks.
New Year, New Geeks, and we wanted to make a new set. And Madie was crazy enough to do it, and so we've spent
Like, I know how to do this. And we're like, okay.
yeah. So we've spent our last
6 years.
In the studio.
last a couple of days, last week and a half ish.
Laying brick and mortar.
Yeah, with late nights and lots of masking tape. And did you guys know that Home Depot isn't open on Christmas? Because they're not. They
There was a lot of work,
Yeah,
and
but-
this is the result. And
but we are very thankful that we have very talented friends that do very cool things.
yeah, it was a group effort. It was fantastic. Madie was our lead designer, set designer, so she did a
Yes,
great job.
Maddie's fantastic.
And
she tells us where to put
so
things.
kudos to Madie as she
Assistant producer.
okay, assistant to the producer.
Assistant to the producer.
That's one of them Office references I've heard. so
That was an Office reference. Let's pivot away from the Office and over to Disneyland. And
Disneyland.
actually, we're just going to talk about DAPS for a few minutes.
Oh,
we
know
just
them.
ended 2018, and we had a plethora of stories in 2018 to choose from. And Murray, as he does every year, chose what he thought were the top 5 stories of the year. And he usually kind of goes back and forth with me, and we talk about it a little bit. So we thought the 5th, and you guys can disagree or agree with this, the 5th top story of the year was the opening of Pixar Pier at Disney California Adventure, and this I'm just gonna say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 what they are first, and then we can go back and hit the stories. So 5th place we had Pixar Pier, 4th place we had Toy Story Land, 3rd place Mickey's 90th, 2nd place Black Panther, 1st place Infinity War.
I would flip 2 and 1.
It was actually, we went back and forth. We ended up going with Infinity War because it's the bigger, in the MCU, it had a bigger ramification because it's the culmination of 10 years, and Black Panther was a part of that culmination. So it could have gone either way because Black Panther also had on the flip side, probably a bigger impact, I guess,
See,
in
and that's
movies.
my logic is that while Infinity War had a bigger impact moment in it, Black Panther will be the movie we still watch in 10 years.
It's possible. Who knows? We'll see what Captain Marvel
I was
does.
gonna say, and depending on how Endgame goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of variables that you could put into that, but really it came down to Infinity War was the culmination of 10 years,
Yeah.
and Black Panther was a part of that, so we're like, I guess it kind of fits in there. Anyway, Pixar Pier.
Yeah.
Does that seem like a good place? Number 5, top 5 stories of the
Yeah,
year.
because it was a new thing, but it wasn't that new. Because it is somewhere we have been. It's not like when we see the new Marvel superhero campus. We've been to Bugs Land before, but this will be a new area, completely reimagined. It won't be the same pathways and all this stuff. Pixar Pier is the same pathways, but different theming. And so I think it's a huge story because we got new things and we got new stories and we got these big
Entertainment.
Yeah, we got these new additions to California Adventure, but it wasn't Galaxy's Edge. It wasn't Marvel Superhero Campus. It was
It's just Pixar. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's exactly what you would expect from Pixar, which is what we said, I think.
yeah.
What is that, 6 months ago, 7 months ago? I think one of the big reasons this story was probably chosen is because it got so much chatter about it. Exactly what we're talking about that. And then you add on top of that, they had the pre-party that you went to.
I did.
And you thought it was worth it.
I did. I moaned and groaned about having to pay it before. I went solely for DAPS Magic because my heart is with DAPS Magic always. But
We actually took it. We stole it.
Yeah. Actually, it's part of the agreement about being on GEEKS Corner. It's pretty scary. But I was afraid of paying $300 to go to a party because I figured it was going to be super crazy and I wasn't going to be able to get to do anything. But then I rode in Credit Coaster 8 times, and I went to Lamplight Lounge before it was open to the public, and I got to do everything I wanted to, and it wasn't that busy. So I know it was super controversial, and I know people called me choice names for going to the party. The internet's a very brutal place.
It's amazing what happens on the internet.
Because I chose to spend my money by going to a party. But it was incredibly controversial, and I recognize that.
I really think it leads into a story that could have perhaps been right in the cusp of number 5 for the top 5, and that would be Solo and the Star Wars fandom.
Oh, definitely.
And how...
Imploding?
Yes. Which really started with The Last Jedi and just continued through Solo. But
because they had a new thing to direct their anger at.
It was the degradation of civility for Star Wars fans. And how was that for a sentence? That was
good word.
I'm impressed. But I almost feel like that could have been 5 too.
Yeah, I agree.
4 was Toy Story Land.
I agree.
Yeah.
I will be honest.
I agree. It was Toy Story Land.
Yes, it was.
I didn't
It was the land of toys.
Until I saw Toy Story Land in person.
I agree.
When I saw pictures and I saw videos, I was like, okay, it's
way more fun in person.
It's so fun in person, and
it's fun. The Slinky Dog Dash was way more fun than it looked like it should be.
Yeah, it was. It's one of those things which is kind of funny because a lot of Disney parks, they just look really, really fun, and Toy Story Land looks fun. But it's one of those things that when
charming,
it looks cute.
That's cute.
Yeah, but when you actually go and experience it, that's when the magic comes alive.
Yeah. And even in the queue, as you're going into Slinky Dog Dash, I was thinking of how they're building the story of Andy creating this adventure.
And we spent the queue going, oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
Well, and look at how it's developing and his plans and all that fun stuff. It was great. Mickey's 90th. Fair to be third?
Okay, so...
I mean, it all started with a mouse, so maybe it should have been 1, but I don't know.
No. That's why I'm kind of like weary about it in the 3rd place spot but it's also a this year story too because
that's where the challenge came.
We are getting the celebration starting this month,
mm-hmm.
So it's like
just a few short weeks.
His birthday was awesome, and he turned 90, but his celebration doesn't really start till this year.
Yeah, I mean, we got a fun cavalcade.
Yeah,
and some plush and
talk to us in 10 years. That'll be the top story.
Oh, 100. Oh, definitely. Yeah. Like, why would we still be talking about this?
I thought you were gonna be like, our show's still here.
I was like, Mickey turning 90.
Well, I have no doubt of that, but you know.
Yeah. Y'all own my soul, remember?
Okay, so
no, it's the heart.
So back to 2 and 1, Black Panther.
Yes.
Infinity War.
Yes. That's hard. And I completely understand why Infinity War is where it is. I understand that this is what from Iron Man was building to. Like, Iron Man up until now.
Iron Man, ...
Infinity War. In parentheses. But it's really hard because Black Panther was unlike anything we've seen up to this point.
It was awesome.
In the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And it was amazing. And I feel like with what Cameron said of, like, Black Panther's the one we're going to go back to more.
I feel like unless there is a deep intrinsic meaning that Endgame is able to pull out of, giving relevance to Infinity War, making it more worthwhile to watch later, a la Empire Strikes Back. Mm-hmm. That's, I think, where the crux is going to be, but I don't think it's going to be able to have the same staying power. I think it's going to be more in the realm of
I don't
Two
feel like
Towers
any of the Avengers movies have had the same staying power as the ones around them.
Yeah.
So like
they're very enjoyable, but they're not as like
when I get the itch to watch Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
I watch Return of the King because it negates 8 or 9 hours of footage, and I can scratch that itch. Now, nothing better than doing a marathon of the director cuts all day. But if you want to cut some time,
don't forget the bonus
you just
features.
watch Return of the King, right?
Yeah.
I feel like that's how Endgame's going to be for this film, where it's going to be the more write-offable part of it that we're going to want to go back to.
Because you already, I mean, it's a lead-up show.
Yeah.
That once you know what happens, I agree with that. I mean, unless there's so much, I don't know. You never know with the Russo brothers. It could go.
True.
They could have been toying with us the entire time.
Oh, they were.
And they were. I mean, you look at these different things that were in other movies that you're like, like it's pretty ridiculous. It'll be interesting to see. And I think actually part of Black Panther's legacy is going to hinge upon the sequel. Because that sometimes can really hurt the original movie if the
Are you
sequel
thinking
is
Guardians? Because I'm thinking Guardians.
sort of.
Yeah.
Like it's you got to keep it fresh. Continuing on with the Marvel discussions.
I like that as separate from a title. The Marvel discussions.
The Marvelous discussions. Yes. It's been talked about that really the future of Marvel in long form is going to be on Disney Plus.
Yes.
Which will be arriving this year now. It's coming this year.
That's their tagline.
It's coming.
It's coming.
We're not going to tell you when, but that's everything at Disney this year. Galaxy's Edge. It's coming in the summer and the winter or fall.
Yep.
But we're not going to tell you when.
We're not going to tell you when.
Disney Plus. It's coming.
Okay.
Late in 2019.
So imagine this. That they would never, ever. But what if they pulled a Beyonce?
And just dropped it?
Yeah, because Beyonce just dropped her album. Never told anyone it was coming, and it just did really, really well because she's Beyonce. What if they did that?
Are you saying Galaxy's Edge is the Beyonce?
It's just like open one day?
Disney's Destiny's Child?
Yeah, like somebody just like, I want to go back to Frontierland and take a picture with the what?
And you just walk in. Yes, sir.
I'd like to point out that Harry Potter Land World in Hollywood did kind of that, where
Yeah.
it was like, we're open randomly.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, the week before it.
Because Cameron did the thing.
I did.
Yeah, you did.
I was there. I was there.
I was there.
No, wait.
I feel like though that would just cause a massive.
Yeah, within 2 hours of that, like the park would get inundated.
It would take one tweet in the entire. It'd be like the first 24-hour day. Remember?
We don't talk about those here.
Where wasn't it like 3 hours to park or something?
It was 3 hours to get off the freeway.
Get off the freeway. Yeah, like I remember. Yeah, that was
Continue the
miserable.
Lord of the Rings comparison. That's like the Horn of Rohan crying out and everyone going.
Yeah, I mean, it totally would be. It'd be a disaster. Anyway, if we have the opportunity for long-form storytelling in the Marvel Universe, what story do you want to hear?
I would call XMen, but none of the characters we've seen.
Anywhere?
And anywhere.
Okay.
My biggest worry with the acquisition of X-Men is them trying to profit and recast and incorporate them into the Avengers and then hurting it as a whole.
Sure.
The actors they cast in the non-Disney X-Men stuff were perfect. I mean,
they were
Sir Patrick
fantastic.
Stewart, Jean Valjean, they were all wonderful. But like, I don't think you can recast those roles.
No.
Then if you can't use the people you already had.
Well, and you might not want to do it too soon. Like maybe in a few years.
Yeah, you give some time. But I'm saying if they want to make something on that streaming service from the MCU, there are quite literally hundreds of mutant characters that are interesting and completely capable of carrying their own storyline that haven't been touched.
Just a quick side note, Bailey says she imagines Disney is going to have an Apple moment like at D23 Expo and just be like, Disney Plus is available today. I can also see them doing the similar thing for Star Wars Galaxy's Edge of like, since you're all here at this park's live whatever thing,
I'm getting into that
as you're
now.
walking out, you're getting a wristband and you will be the first 2,000 people in.
I was gonna say like Fan 2.0.
Yeah, I could actually see them doing something like that.
So I'm
Good point,
I'm gonna
Bailey.
be at that panel.
Now that we've said it, it won't happen.
Well,
we might have just ruined something.
Also, this is in August. I really hope Galaxy's Edge is open by August.
You never know.
I really hope.
You never know.
4th is a weekend. Just throwing it out there.
That is true.
If we do that, then I really need to get my Rancor cosplay together so I can just start swinging arms and get everybody through.
Understand.
That would be amazing. Yeah, that'd be cool with the X-Men going back to that though, and I think it'd be fun to see some of like the characters that we haven't even touched
Yep.
or heard of.
Well, yeah, and the Marvel canon has
Thousands.
tons of stuff they haven't even gotten into. And they've like nodded to some of them. So, for example, there are huge characters that they've kind of winked at, like in the Guardians, at the end of the last Guardians film, they winked at a really big character that have comic lines that are, I mean, enough fodder to be able to do their own stuff. They could do just an Asgardian show.
Oh, totally.
Because there are. Did you know that Thor fights Samson and Hercules at one point? It's real cool. Of
course he does.
And I would love to see that. Like Dragon Ball Z style. Just go out, 16 episodes of one fight. It'd be great.
That's definitely an idea. I don't know that I would be that thrilled, but
Oh no, I'd be down. Like I think
I could handle it for a little bit, but then I'm like, okay, I want something.
But see, that's not the media for you. The type of media that I'm talking about are those that like to consume just Michael Bay-esque action, and it's going to fulfill a very specific need for people who enjoy that type of.
Wouldn't that be pretty expensive? Well, I guess they're throwing the money at it for streaming service.
Look at Netflix as an example. I mean, they are not only producing tons of content, but they are diversifying the kinds of content that they produce like crazy.
So here's my question: Disney streaming opens a year from today. I'm going to say the two big dogs are Disney streaming or Disney Plus and Netflix.
Yeah. Okay.
Amazon coming in right after that. How does Disney Plus impact Netflix's future? Because I think there's a huge quality difference still.
I don't think it's going to affect it because the people who have Netflix are not going to be dropping one to get the other. I think there's going to be enough differentiation between the content that they have that it would be in addition to and not a switch over.
Yeah.
So, unless they keep raising their prices.
But I don't think anyone's going to go.
Or the economy changes.
No one's going to go so drastically. Yeah, you know what? I'm over watching The Office and Parks and Recreation. I only want to watch Moana for the next week.
I'm over watching Parks and Rec. I better watch Guardians. So.
Yeah. Chris Pratt, I need more of him.
But you bring up a good point. Like, if they keep raising prices, I think that's going to put a standstill on it because, as Economics 101 teaches us, as soon as you add more competition to it, there's going to be more competition for the dollar. Therefore, they're going to stagnate a little bit in the market. They're not going to want to raise prices unless.
Well, and Disney's already said they're undercutting them.
Yeah. Yeah, and,
which is awesome.
And Disney will be the first one to raise prices next. I'm going to predict that.
They're going to come in, hurt them hard, and then they'll raise their prices. That's what, that happens all the time. I'm curious to see. I think it might hurt Netflix a bit just because Hulu exists.
Yeah.
And I think Hulu is going to pull The Office and all of those kinds of programming still. And if Disney ends up buying the last piece of that bundle from AT&T, then Disney suddenly can hit the network and the non-Disney stuff over here and have...
Yeah, but Netflix has seen that coming. It's their bread and butter isn't so much the bulk streaming stuff they do anymore.
Sure.
It's the original content that they're making. They've really... there's a reason they invested so heavily in being able to get to the Academy Awards and stuff.
Yep.
It's because they know they had to get content that was original and different.
Yeah, but that's, 5 years of content versus...
I think it's enough, honestly.
I'll be curious. I just find that if I'm stuck on TV and I'm looking for something, I do end up getting tired of Netflix fairly quickly. And it's a quality difference. It's like they're getting there, but they're not there yet. And so I almost feel like if Netflix had 2 or 3 more years, they might be fine. And they haven't pulled a profit yet. And
I would argue that again, and I kind of mentioned this earlier, they're not marketing to you. They're marketing to a much shorter attention span audience.
Oh, I agree with that. But
that might be sitting in the middle of us. I agree with you. I completely.
I'm just looking at
I don't think Netflix is going to get hurt that much because the audience that they've been cultivating is well prepared to survive this one.
So Bailey is going to nail this down and put it in our list, and we'll see what happens in a year.
Maybe I'll go further. I'm going to say a 7 to 7.5% drop in Netflix stocks for about the first month of its release, which it will then do a dead cat bounce back up and then level out within about 3. Economics.
I'm going to eat some Starbursts.
Okay, that's good. This last week, maybe it was 2 weeks ago, I don't remember when it was. I think it was last week. Jon Favreau released a image again on his Instagram, which seems to be the place to go for news for The Mandalorian.
It's true.
And it's IG-88, I believe, and he is a bounty hunter from The Empire Strikes Back. We see him for just a few seconds. He's been on a couple
Empire
TV
Strikes
shows.
Back, that's what I was thinking.
But pretty much everybody geeked out over this, and it's the story behind him, if I've got it right, is it's an assassin droid that decided to do its own thing and become a bounty hunter, which is terrifying when you think about it. So that could be kind of interesting. And then it brings up the question of like, what side of the fence does he end up on versus the Mandalorian, or with the Mandalorian, or what? Where does that go? What do you think about them pulling in a classic? I guess it's a character, but really, what is it? 5 seconds on screen.
5 seconds, no talking. He's walked past by Vader as he reprimands Boba Fett.
Yeah. Okay. So, what do you think about them pulling this character in? Do you care? And what does this tell us about the Mandalorian?
I don't necessarily care, but I feel like it's smart for them to do something with a character that we don't know anything about.
And it's a practical effect, which I like.
Yes.
What do you think?
Well, you're right that the fandom kind of jumped on this because, I mean, for
It's pretty
perspective,
cool.
in The Last Jedi, at one point, Jedi Mark Hamill throws a skull to hit a button to make the gate drop down on the Rancor. Mm-hmm. In Star Wars lore, which they expanded, legends.
Return. Did you just say The Last Jedi he does that?
Return of Jedi.
Okay.
Throws the skull. That skull has a backstory in the expanded lore. Mm-hmm. That guy's story is completely known in the lore. So fans between the 80s and the release of the prequels had way too much time on their hands to expand the lore. IG-88 is a very good example of that. He kind of became the Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep character because it's a chaotic, evil robot that goes into the sentience of robots in the universe, having free will, doing good or bad things, because for the most part they're just generally good. But I think it's the perfect choice because the character means nothing. There's no risk to it.
He can do whatever he wants.
Yeah,
I think it showed up in it might have been Rebels or something. It showed up, and maybe in Resistance, but I don't know. I haven't kept up with that one yet. But he really doesn't have a lot of anything, so it's a clean slate that they can play with. So you're excited about it. I like that it's a practical effect. I think that's just super cool, and I'll be curious. Do you think he'll be with the Mandalorian or against? Or sometimes both. I think sometimes both.
I think they're going to go much more Firefly-esque, where you don't really know who allegiance is all the time.
Okay, that's cool. Finally, Disney's Hollywood Studios' 30th anniversary logo was released in the middle of the night last night, as everybody was celebrating New Year's Eve. Which you have a really cool video of the East Coast celebration on the West Coast, thanks to Murray, that we got up on our YouTube, so you can check that out as well. But what do you think of the new logo?
I think it's cute.
Good.
I don't know what I was expecting, but it wasn't that, and that's not a bad thing. It does throw me off, the animation of Mickey and Minnie, but I know that because that's what they're
shorts.
using for Runaway Railway, it's just we were actually just talking about how fast we acclimate to the new looks of Mickey and Minnie, because someone posted a picture of a 2013 Animal Kingdom map and it looked like it was from the 80s.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things that I'm sure next year I'll be like, yeah, of course it's Hollywood Studios logo. Like, I'll just be used to it because Runaway Railway and everything. But right now my brain is not used to that animation. And so I see it and I go, huh? Oh, yeah.
I agree. I think they're trying to be very smart and call their shots with the art direction of what they're doing.
I'm sure you're going to see Star Wars in that character place, and
there is a lack of cohesion in that land more than any other land, and I think that's what they're aiming for most.
So I think it's funny because my first thought when I looked at it was like, oh, they're changing the name to 30.
Yeah.
Because Disney's Hollywood Studios is really small now, and it's just a big 30, so I thought that was funny. Jumping back to Marvel real quick, Bailey says she'd like to see Kamala Khan, Ms. Marvel series. Also would like to see a new version of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. if it doesn't get renewed, which I think it already was renewed. I think I saw that about a month and a half ago, that even though they haven't got this season out, the next season is already...
I just want Agent Carter back.
Agent Carter would be a very good choice, but later in life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that'd be a very good choice.
It's been like, what, 2-3 years now? Just fast forward 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, but I think you could also do some interesting things in the middle, and there's a lot you could play with it.
The beginning of the founding of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, that's what I want to see, is the founding of S.H.I.E.L.D. That would actually fit in, I hope, with whatever happens with Captain Marvel. I don't know, set some
Fingers crossed.
breadcrumbs for what ended up
I just
happening.
want to see
I
the
like bread.
first PR team figuring out like,
How do we handle this one?
yeah,
Yeah, that would be.
Power of Shield.
Man, that would be interesting. Yeah, that's an idea. So next year, Hollywood Studios is getting Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. We're getting Galaxy's Edge here at Disneyland this year also. I guess we're both getting them this
The
year
other Edge,
because it's 2019.
Boy, oh boy.
If a year from today you had to pick, let's even go a little further than that, but a year plus from today, if you're going to go to Disneyland's or Walt Disney World's Galaxy's Edge, which one would you choose and why?
Walt Disney World.
Walt Disney World. Yeah.
Keep going.
Disneyland is not made to support something like Galaxy's Edge.
I'm so glad we're getting it.
Yep. I love Disneyland. I love Disneyland so much. I am scared of the behemoth that Galaxy's Edge is. And I'm scared that ours is opening first, specifically. I am so terrified. I think that our little park might implode on itself.
I have a question.
Yes.
It's the question I know somebody is asking, and I don't think the answer is anything that Disney has to worry about. Do you think there's any chance that the whole Star Wars backlash thing, like Galaxy's Edge opens and people are like, nope?
No, I think that, no, because they're Star Wars fans. What they would do is they would spend their money, they would go to Galaxy's Edge, and they would make it known how much they don't like what Disney
But
did.
that's my point, is because then you do this thing. It'd be, the spike initially and then
because
crash off.
But they
Everyone
don't stop
else,
buying it. Yeah.
I was gonna say, people don't stop seeing Star Wars movies. People saw The Last
Well, the
Jedi.
numbers
Like,
didn't really say that for Solo.
it's true.
Not to be, I'm not trying to be
no.
adversarial, but
No.
Solo didn't do as well in the box
And I
office.
bet you a larger percentage of the sales for Solo were people that were trying to hate on it more than the people who actually enjoyed it.
That's true.
Do you know how much effort it takes to really hate something like that?
No kidding.
Disney's going to make money either way.
I was gonna say,
Well, I know they're gonna make money. I'm just wondering if it's not gonna be as
no.
terrible as
No,
we
it'll be
think it is.
sustainable
No.
for two reasons. One, the haters will continue to hate and buy.
Yep.
And two, it doesn't matter because it's not for them. This is a new generation of Star Wars.
That is true.
And it's developing and cultivating its audience that does
The
not
Mary
have a
Poppins
voice right now.
Returns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The people who are falling in love with Star Wars right now are the 10-year-olds that are going to have kids in 15 years and still going to want to take them. Like,
Well, in some ways, this is the best era for Star Wars,
Yeah.
period. Like, that's where the negativity just doesn't make any sense because they're getting everything Star Wars fans have always wanted. We're getting new movies, we're getting new experiences, new books, new merchandise. Like there is so much for Star Wars fans right now. And, yeah, I don't know. The thought occasionally crosses your mind of, like,
I
what
really
happens if...
don't think that we are going to see any. I think it's going to be absolutely brutal.
Mm-hmm.
And because of how brutal I think the first couple months will be, there will be people that won't be able to experience Galaxy's Edge. And so people will continue to come back as it gets slower. I speak completely arbitrarily because it's probably not going to be slower. It's probably going to just be less bad. But people are going to go in that period because now they can actually get into Disneyland and now it's not taking 4
I
hours
think
to
the
park.
best times to go are going to be when everybody's blocked out.
yeah.
Oh, I 100%
I mean,
agree.
this last weekend is an exact example of how awesome the tiered pricing is. Sunday, Roger, our old social media guy who's now working, shame on him.
How dare you
He
work.
took his mother to Disneyland on Sunday, went on 14 attractions
They got
between
there-
9 a.m.
Yeah.
He walked into the parking lot 9 a.m.
Yep.
Left the park with us at 10:30, I think. And they did 14 attractions, 5 shows,
They did parade.
2 meals, no,
They did-
3 meals,
I don't know.
But
They did parade and fireworks and
3 other shows.
yeah. Well, no. There was shows and then parade and
So
fireworks.
21 different things that they did, not including food,
Yeah.
in one day at Disneyland or Disneyland Resort.
On the day before New Year's Eve, something that historically has been bonkers.
And it was busy,
Bananas
but it was
insane.
not insane, and it was a lot of fun. Like, it was a great day to be at Disneyland.
definitely.
Anyway, we are running out of time for this week. We hope you like our new set.
Tell Madie
we are thrilled
how
with
she's
it.
amazing.
I will tease, if you thought the Dapsies were fun every other year, it's going to be even better this year because
Just you wait.
this
Tickets,
isn't
yeah.
this isn't all of it.
when we burn the set down.
It's going to be great. Anyway,
should go to thegeekscorner.com. That's thegeekscorner.com to reminisce about all the days before we had this really cool stuff behind us.
Check out dapsmagic.com. Check out all the Disney and geek news as it happens. Subscribe to our mailing list and find out how to become a DAPS Magic maker.
And while you're subscribing, make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel because we have lots of other fun videos going up.
Yeah.
Almost seems like every day, but not quite. We'll get there someday. Anyway, we hope you're having a very happy new year. Make sure to find us on social media. We'd love to continue the conversation throughout the week, but we'll see you around the corner.